Faith is synonymous with belief. Faith not tethered to facts is worthless. Your faith has to be rooted to or based on facts. The members of every religion has faith. It is an requirement. But if only one of the religions is true/factual, then the faith of all others is in vain. So just simply having faith in and of itself is meaningless. If someone has a history of keeping their word, then you may have faith in their word based on the facts of your knowledge of their history. If you heat up a pot of water, you can have faith that it will eventually boil based on your experience with heating water. Faith has to be based on facts. Belief is not facts. Facts are knowledge. Knowledge is preferred above belief, above faith. Faith/belief is the verb of facts. Faith is the action you take based on facts. A verb must have a subject, otherwise it is meaningless. Faith without facts is meaningless. The world is in a belief matrix. Virtually everyone on earth are firm and secure in the belief matrix. What is the belief matrix? It's the state of believing. Believing is not knowledge/facts. Everyone is associated with, connected with, or a participant in some belief system, some call religion. Every religion is based on belief, aka faith. Think of it. The major force affecting the planet is belief. Not just one belief, but many different versions of belief. A planet made of and surrounded by a universe of observable facts, populated by conscious beings, guided, motivated, and steeped in belief. Yet scientific facts are being employed to control them. Very few have any command of any facts at all. It's all belief. Religion is belief. History is belief. Evolution is belief. Even much of science is theory, which again is belief. Very few, if any, realize that they are in a belief matrix. They think they are in a fact-based reality, when the fact is they know little to no facts at all about anything. They assume their reality is fact-based. They are oblivious to facts. Anything that challenges their fact-free reality is rejected, is attacked. They love the belief matrix and will attack anything or anyone who would deem to extricate them from it. They have little to no knowledge about the reality they exist in. Do they ask themselves, what, if anything, they know as facts? What, if anything, they know of reality? No, they don't. They are satisfied with whatever version fed to them, no matter who or what. No proof necessary, as long as food, drink, bed, roof, and entertainment comes with it. The scriptures state, it will require the blowing of 4 winds to shake them out of their belief matrix. The belief matrix they are desperately grasping. The bait of food, drink, bed, entertainment will suddenly and violently be removed. Then the facts. They will be faced with facts, the facts of reality, the harsh reality of facts. The belief matrix is about to be dismantled, destroyed. one needs to ask themselves, aside from their beliefs, what do they really know about anything? What facts do they know? If the answer echoes back with a resounding none, then they are a resident of the belief matrix. Who are the belief matrix priests? Anyone and everyone who is selling you belief. Yes, sell. That's what they do. You must pay for it. The bigger the belief, the more you pay. Try being a member of any church, mosque, temple without coughing up the dough and see what happens. Yet they ain't giving you anything tangible. Just belief. Nothing they can or can be approved. So why do people, most people, nearly all people, keep paying for nothing? Think of it. All the religious beliefs can't be right. If any one of them is right, then nearly three-quarters, the rest, are all wrong. Meaning over 3.5 billion people are paying with their lives, their families' lives, playing with their futures for nothing. A nice business. You give nothing for something. They give you belief, you give them the dough. Yet, if one would only take their heads out of their asses for a moment and look up, they will see facts everywhere. The entire creation is fact-based without exception. You ever see a NFL player who is crippled, deformed, a midget, notwithstanding the individual with one hand, but then all you need is one hand on any pro team? No, you don't, because the only belief system that will get you on any team is the fact of ability. Pray, believe all you want. If you weigh 150 pounds, blind, crippled, you ain't going to ever get on any team. You ever see a 80-year-old acrobat or 80-year-old Olympic star? No, because belief, prayer, faith will never make that happen because facts rule. An 80-year-old man ain't going to become 30 years old no matter how much belief slash faith slash prayer. Everyone dies. Belief slash prayer slash faith will not change that fact. Facts rule, not belief, nor prayer, nor faith. Facts are mathematics. If it ain't based in mathematics, it ain't. The correct understanding of prayer and faith is the wisdom and command of facts. You can convert $1 million of shit to $1 million of diamonds. That's a fact. Each has equal value. Faith just allows you to convert one to the other. Water into wine. He didn't make wine out of thin air. He healed those who had the ability to be healed. He said it himself. He said it was not him, but their faith that healed them. He said Lazarus wasn't dead, but asleep. He simply woke him up. He never claimed to bring anyone back from an actual death. The belief priests, the priests of belief matrix, prey on the ignorant. The inhabitants of belief matrix love the belief matrix. It removes all responsibility to know anything. Once one is extricated from the belief matrix, then they begin to understand. It's difficult. First, you have to understand that everything is mathematical, that everything is real and composed of facts. Understanding that, you have to start the arduous journey of discovery, of learning about the creation, learning about who you are, how the creation works, how it came to be, how you fit in. Not small things. You have to ever upgrade your mathematical skills. If you come to understand the oneness, the very nature of creation, that pressure is the creative force, then you must understand how everything connects, where it all comes from, where it's going. Who wants that burden? The belief matrix is better, easier, simpler, more fun. You don't have to know or understand anything. Let the belief matrix priest deal with all that. Ain't that what you pay the matrix priest, the belief merchants for? To comfort you in your ignorance? Yes, the matrix priests are drug dealers who keep you happy, ecstatic in your ignorance, in your belief reality for a price. The more comfortable in your ignorance they can keep you, the more you pay. Whenever a reality priest comes along with that hated red pill to deliver you into the reality of facts, you crucify him. Don't bring me no damn facts. Facts? Them damn facts? That's why Elijah started you out with, quote, actual facts, end quote, because he was delivered from the belief matrix and went about trying to bring others out. You gave him money. He gave you facts. Businesses, newspaper plants, farms, real estate, trade with other nations, boats to bring fresh fish from the Caribbean, supermarkets, restaurants, etc. Facts for facts. Now we have a belief matrix priest who is calling you back to the belief matrix. Facts be damned. Mystery God forming you in the womb when the facts prove otherwise. Scientific, mathematic, observable facts. Facts be damned. The father and mother has nothing to do with the forming and the ultimate talents of their offspring. Yet they can't explain cracked babies, deformed babies, and other bothersome facts that talents usually run in families. Mystery God wakes us up in the morning, yet he hates devils and happily wakes them up to continue with their devilishment. On top of all that, they tell you that God is a man, which they insist, but can't explain how he gets into every womb, including animals, to form every newborn. Amazing. Facts be damned. While Elijah gave you facts for facts, Farrakhan gives you beliefs for facts. You give him the dough, he gives you auditing. He gets the dough, and you get the belief you will inherit America one day. He gets the dough, you get to believe he's Jesus. Facts for belief. Those who love the belief matrix are cave dwellers who sink ever deeper in their cave of ignorance, in the cave of belief, in their ever increasing desperate efforts to evade, escape, deny reality. Yet reality is ever closing in, demanding stronger and stronger drugs, descending ever deeper and deeper into the cave. They will destroy anyone who would get in their way as they descend ever deeper into the belief matrix. There is only one reality, one creation. But for the inhabitants of the belief matrix, there are as many, quote, realities, end quote, as there are inhabitants, many creations, many gods, one or many for each persuasion, for each taste. That alone should wake up someone merely slumbering on the margins of the belief matrix. If belief matrix inhabitants of any, quote, major, end quote, belief is correct, then over 4.5 billion inhabitants of the belief matrix are 100% wrong. If the Christians are right, the Muslims, Jews, Hindu, Buddhists, and everyone else is 100% wrong. Now, who would bet a belief against those facts. The Christian would not even know if he is right or not, because he only believes he's right. Yet he bets his life, his family's life, and possibly eternal life, not on facts, but belief. So does the Muslim, the Jew, the Hindu, the Buddhist, etc. What is a compiler? A compiler is something that protects a computer from bad code. It is positioned between the computer and the computer intake to check information/instructions being entered to ensure that the instructions are legitimate and not harmful to the computer. The computer uses these instructions to make decisions, so they must be sound, must be correct, else the computer will make bad, erroneous decisions. If the compiler is defective, then the computer will malfunction, giving bad information, making bad decisions. It's critical that the compiler work perfectly, 100%. We, as reasoning beings, have a lack function. However, our compiler is built by others, mainly parents, before we ever get a chance to check to see if the compiler is working correctly. Our parents tell us what's right and wrong and what we should accept and reject. This is called raising the child, but it's really building your compiler. But what if their compiler is not 100%? Then they pass those errors on to you so that you will accept things that's harmful to you and reject things that are good for you. Take religions, for example. Religion is a main function of your compiler. It defines your reality. Your parents tell you to accept theirs and reject others. So you go through life having an aversion to certain people while preferring others, not actually knowing why. It's built into your compiler, a compiler that someone else built. This paradigm is known by its other name, bias. Our parents begin the corrupting process. It doesn't matter if it is intentional or not, by reading and telling you fairy tales, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, Cinderella, etc. All that is just preparing you for the greater distortions to come. Parents should know that to children, everything is a fairy tale. They are new to the world, and everything is a mystery, exciting. You could teach them about the stars and mathematics, physics, electricity, and they would find it just as exciting and interesting, maybe even more so, since they can actually relate to it in reality. Look at the games they give children, virtual killing machines, when they could make games about math, science, engineering, which could be just as much fun and entertaining while educating. But they don't. Why? The belief matrix. You see the world through the lens of your compiler. If an enemy built your compiler, then you will see him as friend and yourself and your friends as enemy. You have to be careful who builds your compiler. But how can you? It was built before you were aware or even could comprehend the fact of a compiler. By the time you become aware, if you ever do, your world, your reality is already defined and you are using that very defective compiler to make decisions. Decisions which are being controlled by the defective compiler. What a paradox. Much like a dope addict corrupting/distorting the very brain that he needs to make decisions, clear decisions about his dope problem. Most, nearly all people go through life with this problem not even realizing it as a problem, if they can even recognize the concept at all. They are viewing, understanding reality from a distorted point of view, like looking through a parallax view, a parallax lens. They dwell in a belief matrix, which by definition is not based on facts, but beliefs and bias. How can one correct that situation? Once aware, you have to tear down that compiler and rebuild it from scratch, which is a daunting, nearly impossible task for most. All prophets and messengers had to go through that process, unless they were born from parents who had correctly operating compilers. That's the job, the mission of prophets and messengers to tear down and rebuild compilers. As stated, the process is a daunting one, if not terrifying. You have to reject everything, and I mean everything, that you think you know, all of it, every itsy bitsy drop. Then you begin the process of rebuilding. The first instruction you build into your compiler is, if it's not proven fact, reject. Reject it, period. No compromise. If it ain't math, reject. Then your compiler interjects, asserts itself. Quote, everything ain't math. What about spirituality? End quote. See, it's hard because you can't prove it. But where did you get the idea that it existed to begin with? The old compiler? Who got it from another distorted compiler who warned you at the peril of your soul, another unprovable belief that you better not reject spirituality? That's why it's a virtually impossible process for most. I know. I had a nervous breakdown when I first went through it 50 years ago. Prophet Muhammad said it was like sweating blood, paraphrasing. But that is what it takes to step out of the belief matrix into the reality of facts. You have to go to war with your old compiler to rebuild a new one, which you are building through the lens of the old one, who is warning you not to reject it for a new one. As the scripture says, you have to kill the old man if you want to be the new man. Both cannot coexist. But isn't that like the old man killing himself? Are you starting to get the picture? Get my drift, as they say? Our enemy has locked us down in a belief matrix that is nearly impossible to break free from or even want to. He doesn't have to put chains on us anymore. He spent 64 years building our compilers. Now, these defective, self-defeating compilers are replicating themselves. We see the world, reality, as they want us to, and few, very few, have a glimpse of the truth. That's why Farad had to come. Now we have an enemy who is trying to reverse what Farad, through his messenger, has done. Only the pure of heart can or will see God. That's absolutely true. You must purge yourself of belief and step into the reality of facts, mathematics, because God is mathematics, and you can only see him with a heart and mind free of belief, bias, dogma, a pure heart of facts. That's, in part, what it means when it says that John/Elijah would baptize you with water, but the Christ would baptize you with fire. Elijah came and washed your compiler. He washed it, tried to clean it up. The Son of Man will burn it down and rebuild it from ground up, perfect, without blemish. The belief matrix, by its other name, superstition, is the state that the matrix priest desire for its clientele. During the so-called Dark Ages medieval period, the matrix priest was the Pope, the Catholic Church. They pointedly, intentionally, purposely kept their clientele in ignorance, enforced ignorance upon its clientele even under the threat of death. This made the matrix priests wealthy and powerful, while impoverishing their clientele for 1,000 years. The typical and natural dynamic between drug pushers and their clients. During this period, a fact priest called Muhammad was snatched out of the belief matrix into the reality of facts. He went forth to deliver his brothers from their belief matrix prison. His success propelled Arabia to eminence, to power, to strength, to reality. Facts are empowering. They have resonance, which is growth. Facts are the language of reality, the language of the creation. Facts are immutable forever. After 1,000 years of the so-called Dark Ages, influenced by the forces of Muhammad, a few Europeans began to claw their way out of the belief matrix. Newton, Galileo, Copernicus, etc. Some persecuted by the Pope, the matrix high priest. Yet they persisted, seeking facts. They called science, rejecting reliance on belief. This was called the Renaissance. It propelled Europe out of darkness to empire. But as Europe was being dragged out of the belief matrix, the company of Muhammad, being infiltrated by Europeans clinging to the belief matrix, began descending back into the belief matrix that Muhammad had delivered them from. Gog, Magog, and Dajjal had to dilute Islam, as Islam based on facts was corrosive to their belief matrix. Even in its diluted form, it is proving corrosive to their belief matrix. So they have decided to eradicate Islam as a force altogether. The Europeans are embracing science, while Arabia is 1,400 years lost in the past. In defiance of facts, history, America has become the belief matrix high priest, selling and imposing belief on every nation it comes in contact with. Take the Muslim countries. Each and every Muslim country who is struggling to emerge out of the belief matrix for math and science, they get attacked by America. America finds some excuse to bomb them back 1,400 years. Iraq, Syria. They are currently making plans for Iran. Look at Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Kuwait, three Sunni countries anchored in the 14th century, living off of oil with no evidence of any technology or science. America defends them as long as they stay in the belief matrix. America is happy to exploit and accommodate them. The Europeans, the Caucasians, Yakub's devils, are contrary by nature. They dwell in the belief matrix. It is their natural habitat. The fact of their existence is that they are in conflict with nature, with creation, with the ecosystem. They cannot concede to that fact. Everyone will act according to their nature and will feel justified in acting according to their nature. Quote, there is a way that seems right to a man, but leads to destruction. End quote. Not being able to act in sync with the facts of the creation, they act in belief that they can develop some presently unknown, undefined technology which will force creation into submission. They are at war with the creation. When the Europeans, the Caucasians, began clawing their way out of the belief matrix, they were reaching for facts. They were stringently, aggressively, even violently opposed by the Pope and his minions of matrix priests. They persisted, and with each fact fragment, they became ever more powerful. With the few facts they have command of, they have gained control of the surface of the planet, the populations of the planet. To those they rule, those they control, they feed them a constant diet of belief. Belief devoid of facts. They push the most corrosive belief of all, Christianity, which is devoid of facts. Not one so-called fact of Christianity can withstand the test of facts, can hold up against facts, not one. It's all belief, faith. They shove you into the belief matrix and use their weak command of a few facts to keep you in. You are the energy/batteries that they exploit, called capitalism, to power their contrary reality. They give you the false illusion of freedom, called democracy, as Velcro to keep you firmly stuck to the walls of the belief matrix. They obtain knowledge by the empirical method, which means they have to see it, feel it, to believe it. They need ever more powerful observation tools, microscopes, telescopes, etc., which further means they can't conceive facts from thought and thought alone. That's the province of gods and gods alone. The facts that they have obtained are themselves based in belief. With their most powerful microscopes, they can't see atoms, so they have to theorize about them, a fact they can believe in. With their most powerful telescopes, they can only see the universe as it was millions of years ago, not as it is. So they have to theorize about the universe. They can't reach or touch the stars, so they have to theorize about them. They think they know how gravity works, but they have no idea what gravity is. Evolution is a theory. Relativity is a theory. Quantum mechanics, the holy grail of physics, is theory. So all of their science, built off of the few fragments of facts they have obtained, are also all based on belief. The Europeans, the Caucasians, have expanded and strengthened the belief matrix. They have enforced it with demons whose entire purpose is to ensure that the original people stay in the matrix. The Son of Man is the matrix breaker. He comes with facts, actual facts. Farad set up the process with his actual facts and supreme wisdom. Jonah will finish the process. He comes with fact-based reality, with reality. Truth versus falsehood, knocking out his brains. All the scriptures are steeped in belief. Everyone has an opinion, no facts. But the Quran and Bible attest to that fact. The truth of both would not be revealed until the arrival of the Son of Man. We are living in a fantasy reality, a make-believe reality. The Son of Man has come to free those who would be free of the belief matrix. He has a red pill for everyone who wants it. Quote, know the truth/facts, and the facts will make you free, end quote. You must know the facts first. You cannot know the facts until someone makes the facts known, and then you must receive the facts to know them. The angel is the key to turn the belief of scriptures to facts of scripture. The demons are adverse and are standing guard to ensure that you never receive the facts. The demons are besides themselves doing everything to block the facts. They say, quote, please stop, end quote. Quote, please leave us alone, end quote. Quote, why are you bothering us, end quote. Quote, please take me off your group list, end quote. When they could simply block the message. It's not that they don't want to hear it. They don't want you to hear it. The Christ loved to cast out demons. Every time he encountered a demon, he would call him out, expose him. The demons hated the Christ. They feared his presence. The Christ know who the demons are. The Christ know where the demons are. The demons dread his presence. The demons dread his appearance. They know the Christ will expose them, and in their ability to pose as weak. They know he will call them out, separate them, and cast them into perdition, into the fire. You have to know what a demon is before you can cast it out. Mr. Farrakhan claims to be the Christ. So where are and who are the demons that he is prophesied to cast out? Demons are half devil and half man. Demon. They are the seed of devils forced into black women. Half devil, half black. The demons, black-faced Caucasians, are another problem altogether. Like their fathers, they are averse to the creation, and like their fathers, they are conflicted against themselves. But unlike their fathers, they have the thin veneer nature of the original, very thin, which allows them to appear and act as the original. They love their fathers, but hate the original people who they are averse to by nature as their fathers are. They love the adverse world their fathers have created. They hate any and everyone who oppose their fathers or the adverse systems that their fathers have established. Approach them with facts and they curl up like a cat ready to fight. I don't want that shit. Get away from me. Quote, they love not the truth/facts. So they are given to believe the lie, end quote. The demons are more deadly to the original than their fathers are. They are camouflaged, invisible. They are of this world, Yakub's world. So this world loves them, and being of this world, they love this world, and in loving this world, they dedicate their efforts to achieving what this world has to offer. In their dedication to achieve the fruits of this world, they achieve it. But their efforts to achievement here, their success will fall flat in the righteous world emerging. They will have no success, no achievement, being contrary in the world emergent. It's not difficult to recognize them. They attack any black who attacks their dad and his creation, his system. They make excuses for dad. They seek every opportunity to justify dad's evils. They wear dad's names as a badge of honor. They don't see dad's 400 years of rape, oppression, murders, etc. as evil. It was just America's original sin, a birth defect. Some even go as far as to claim it was all justified as it civilized blacks, saving them from wild beasts and cannibals. They don't want to leave dad. They want to stay right here with dad, ever hoping that dad will love his, quote, black, end quote, goats as much as his white goats. We used to call them Orioles. black on the outside, white on the inside. That was until their dream prophet came along, Mr. Martin Luther King, and empowered them. Now they have gained control of the original nation, claiming to represent the original nation, when in reality they want to either remake us into demons as they are, or eradicate us. In their averse minds, we are the reason that Daddy is cold on them. The Christ had no love for demons. Every time he saw someone plagued by demons, he called out the demons. He didn't go around healing demons. He cast demons out by calling them out for everyone to see. He knew who they were/are, and they knew who he was/is. The demons are loyal to their daddy, devils, and treacherous, murderous to us. They are the ones murdering, raping, selling drugs to our people. Look at Chicago, the home of the chief demon. The demons are running rampant. Original people don't act like that. Those are demons doing their father's will according to their devil nature. We are plagued by them as the Christ knew. So why is not the quote anointed end quote talking about an obvious plague of our people? Because he will be calling out himself. He is the chief demon. The demons have gotten control of our people, and it will take the demon slayer, the Christ, Jonah, to cast them out. Send them scurrying back to their swine fathers, who the Christ is about to run off a cliff. The chief demon, the anointed, is the warden of the belief matrix for the original people. He is not only working hard to keep those who are in, but to pull those who Elijah has pried loose back in. His bait is Elijah's message. But when you bite down on the bait, you get his hook. As the messenger said, falsehood is more dangerous than an outright lie, as falsehood has enough truth/facts to attract you to the poison within. Falsehood is facts laden with belief, truth laden with lies. The devils are the lies, but the demons are the falsehood. The demons look like you, talk like you, act like you, with hearts that hate you, and fangs and claws to tear you apart once they have gotten you within their grip. The demons will never accept facts, as they are adverse/averse to facts, as a rabid dog is averse to water. Like their devil fathers, they shun facts, except to the extent that they can use them to subjugate those in the belief matrix and force those who are not into it. So they are conflicted with facts like a man handling radiation. He knows he can use the radiation to gain power, but he puts on a protective suit because he knows it will kill him. Such is the dilemma of devils and demons. They just recently, 500 years ago, learned how to handle facts. The few rare ones they are able to dig out of the earth. They use science to subjugate, to control, but do not apply the principle, the most profound principle, to themselves. The principle of consequence, the principle of justice. Christianity is their radiation suit to protect them from the harmful consequences of the facts. The science that they are using in their genocide, rape, oppression of nations. Black is a generic term. Black refers to what they used to refer to as colored or Negroes. Anyone with any tint of non-Caucasian blood was considered colored, black, or Negro in America. It's a lie that was created and promoted by the slave master to justify enslaving his own demon seed children, the chaff he was sowing among the wheat. They repeatedly, with no restraint, no inhibition, relentlessly raped our women, producing their demon seed. All could be considered black based on complexion, but they ain't all the same. Black, white, green, or indifferent, if your paternal line is Caucasian, then you are Caucasian, period. That's a scientific genetic fact. We all may be black, but we ain't the same. The demons are demons, black-faced Caucasians. They are not original. They are the hidden enemy, wolves in sheep clothing. That drop of blood lie is being promoted by the quote anointed end quote is an attempt to protect his flame. The fact that his paternal line is Caucasian, which reveals him as the angel reveals as a demon, the chief demon, the mouth. The chief demon is effective with his method. He knows how to fish and what to fish for. Every fisherman knows that you have to get the right bait to attract the fish you are after. The more attractive the bait, the better. Then, having attracted the fish, you need the right hook to hold them to reel them in. Who is the devil's after? Who is the dragon after? Those who remain true to the messenger's teachings. So that has to be the bait, the messenger's teachings. The bait has to be as attractive as possible, so you use an image of the messenger. What better image than his son? Everyone knows that Ishmael is not qualified for that position. He's the worst, quote, minister, end quote, I've ever heard, including Christian ministers. Uneducated, can't say 5 words that don't contradict themselves. Then the hook. Once you bite down on the bait, the hook has to be strong enough to reel you in into your death. Once he, quote, the mouth, end quote, gets you on his hook, he feeds you a constant dose of BS that has absolutely no place in the messenger's teachings. Once he, quote, the mouth, end quote, gets you on his hook, he feeds you a constant dose of BS that has absolutely no place in the messenger's teachings or Parad's lessons. Sunniism, mystery gods, predetermination, claiming he's Jesus. Some devils are good, redeemable. Only the satanic Jews are bad. We ain't going nowhere. We should be prepared to keep the devils, help the devils defend America on and on. That's the hook. Quote, he made war with the saints, /NOI, and overcame them for 42 years until the Ancient of Days came, cast down their thrones, and cleaned up the NOI with full of soap, then tried them by fire, /tribulation, preparing them to receive the kingdom. I'm paraphrasing. The devil's scientists screaming about climate change. What they don't say is that all their solutions result in devastation for the black community. Loss of jobs, mass imprisonment, mass genocide under the color of war. To achieve the mass genocide by war, the blacks has to be motivated and encouraged to fight for America in its upcoming contrived war. To that end, they need someone or someone's respected to set the example. That's where the FOI comes in. If the FOI is willing and motivated to go and fight for America, it must be okay. It must be a legitimate cause. After all, the FOI, many who would normally have reservations would set aside those reservations and run side by side with the FOI. That is most definitely, most absolutely not a position Elijah the messenger would support. No. He would most certainly object, condemn. So why is Minstrel Farrakhan promoting such a position? Underscored by, quote, "We ain't going nowhere. We must defend America. America belongs to us." Quote, ask him. To my knowledge, there was no prophet, no messenger that ever angered God as Aaron did in both Torah and Quran. Angered God to the point of wanting to kill him, which he ultimately did. He even angered Moses/Elijah. He angered Elijah so much that he ordered all those who followed Aaron slaughtered, every one. Aaron got hired with a great resume, but got fired for lying, betrayal, cowardice. He was to stand in during the absence of Moses/Elijah. But in Elijah's absence, he went for self, glorifying himself. He was hired because of his, quote, mouth, unquote, his speaking ability. But he used it to subjugate, deceive, and live off the labor of Elijah's followers. He exposed Elijah's followers to open ridicule before their enemies, seducing them with unsound ideas, doctrine, and practices. This is the legacy of he who succeeded Elijah in his absence. The scripture is crystal clear about Elijah's successor, what he would do, and what his end would be, including those who followed him in his betrayal. They have no excuse. They rejected truth for falsehood/belief. They chose belief over facts. They had no love for truth, prophecy, so they were left to believe the lie and liar, damned and confused. The red pill is ever present. Know the facts, and the facts will make you free. Quote, you will know the facts, and the facts will make you free, end quote. The belief matrix is about to be crushed to dust along with all of its matrix priests and matrix addicts, crushed by the manifestation, reality, and power of the facts, priest, the Son of Man. The scripture revealed that the Christ/Son of Man/Jonah would stand alone with the power to make those who would listen sons of God. He stands with facts to remove anyone who will from the belief matrix, the make-believe reality. Quote, he would lift them up, give them facts, but they cling to the earth, cling to belief. Quran, end quote.